Hi everybody and welcome to the next session of In the Craftroom with Debbie. I'm really excited about this session because it's all about Art Deco. I don't know about you, but I absolutely adore Art Deco, and you can see some card samples behind me. But in this session you are going to do a corner card and a matching box. Now you should have been able to see the link to download the papers. As you can see here, these are the papers. There's loads of them. You get the corner card options and also you get that box. You will need also, with regard to the materials for this session, is a sheet of acetate. I've got mine here so I don't lose it. And then with regard to equipment I should say, you will need a paper trimmer and you need a scoreboard, or you can use, like I do, a paper trimmer and embossing tool. You do need some foam pads. You do also need a pair of scissors, two types, a large and small, and a pencil for marking, and obviously some adhesives, some glue, tapes and foam pads. Now when it comes to In the Craftroom with Debbie, the whole idea of this session is that it's a real-time workshop. So yes, I may be a little bit faster than yourself, but you can pause me and we can craft along together. What I've done already is I've printed out my options and I've started to cut them out, because as you can see, there's lots of sheets to create that box and that corner card. Now when it comes to the materials themselves, what I've done is I've printed directly onto card. If your printer does not take card, all you need to do is print onto paper and back it onto card. You will still get that wonderful wow result when it comes to putting this collection together. Now in the craft room, if you're watching live, which is on Tuesday the 16th of July at 7 p.m, you can actually message me and we can go through any questions you may have. However, if you're watching after that point, you can just email any queries and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. So are you ready? So what I've done already, as I said, I've printed them out and I've started to cut them out. Now if you're new to crafting, the thing to remember, and we have a look at the sheet, let me move this one out of the way, you can see that you have broken lines and then you have straight lines. So if you see straight lines, so if I take this sheet, because this is how one of the sheets would be, so you can see that you would have to cut all this out, and in certain sections it says cut. So when you're preparing this gorgeous card, I would cut out all the elements ready. So for example, on here, where is it? I've lost it. On this one here, so this is for another side. What I've done is I've started to cut it out, and this is where I prepare and get everything ready. So I'm just cutting them out using a pair of scissors. And then when it comes to scoring, I will use my paper trimmer and an embossing tool, but I tend to do all my cutting first and then all my scoring. Now if anybody has any questions, just ask. On this section here, this is what I need to do. I'm going to show you how I've cut it out. All I'm doing is taking, whoops, let's move that one out of the way, taking my paper trimmer and trimming everything down. So make sure whatever materials you use ones that you are comfortable with. I love using my Fiskars trimmer because it's very handy and everything's there ready. Just line it up like so, and then you are ready to get everything to scale. Now when it comes to this corner card and matching box, there is a lot of preparation, which is why I've sent it beforehand. So on this section here, you can see that this is straight, then you've got broken lines down there and then straight again. So all I'm going to do is literally cut this off first up to there and then do it like so. And because this is the little tab, just take a pair of scissors and cut around it like that. Now remember, if anybody has any questions, just to ask. I'm here to ask any queries on crafting that I can help you with. And this is the great thing about In the Craftroom with Debbie. It's in real time, so I'm not rushing. I'm just literally making it in my own time. And then when it comes to this bit, now obviously there's a curve here. It's very hard to actually cut out a curve. What I tend to do is this. I get my paper trimmer, I line up the sections that I can cut straight. So for example, here, I cut down to like so. I rotate it and then do the other ends that way. And this is when I use a small pair of scissors. So I'm just going to put that in there, cut to there, and do this other side up to the curve section, like so, go to that. And then I am left with the curves, this curved section. You can use a large pair of scissors, and somewhere in my little kit I have a small pair. So what I tend to do is I cut out, using my large scissors, the large amount, and you can use whatever makes you feel comfortable. So this bit I've cut like so, and then I'm just going to do this up to there, and the same like so. You can use a craft knife as well. I do know some of you like craft knives. And then what I tend to do is I will use either a large pair or a small pair of scissors and go round it that way. So this is this I would say is the most tricky part, cutting out this curve, because I want to do this lovely curved doorway. Go all the way along. I've used small scissors, large scissors, but you can use the small ones if you want. So this is now ready, because I'm going to score this in a second. I've missed a little bit. This is why I have a little backup pair of scissors, just to take these extra sections off, like so. Let's go all the way along there, make sure it's straight. Pop that down there, move that out the way, and then I go on to my next section. Now when it comes to all these parts of the box, get them ready first. So as you can see, I've already trimmed this down. I've only got the center bit, and I've just now done that bit already, and I'm going to go round it, round the arch like so. And I love this little creation because this little corner card is so easy to do, and then you have that wow factor. And for those of you that have downloaded the Christmas version, you'll find that once you get the hang of it, you will love creating these corner cards. So there's that one ready. So how's everybody doing? Have you cut out your sections? Remember, I cut first and then I score. So this bit here, I am cutting all the way through the 4 corners. Actually, this has only got 3 corners because I cut everything out. So that's my 3 sides. And then I have my lid and my base. Just 1 second. As well as one last wall. So just literally cut off the sections. Now you may notice that there's a little nick in here. You can cut it if you want to. It's the way it's designed to put a little, almost like a little right angle, like so. You can do that if you want. If you miss it, don't worry too much about it. So there's that one. I might as well do the little nick in the corner because I missed it off on there. And then we'll do it on the other side. This will just help it sit correctly when you come to put it together. And then the next section. Now I've already cut out this part on here. And you can see that you have straight lines and you have broken lines. So the straight lines mean that all you need to do is cut. So I'm going to cut like so on the straight lines, going all the way along the 4 corners. One more, and then that's ready to score. And I have now my lid. Now this is my lid. So this is a little bit tricky to see. So you can see I've got broken lines and I've got straight lines. So all you need to do is cut one of them. So I'm just going to cut that one and then rotate it. Cut that one. And because you've got the blossom on it, it is a little bit hard to see. Now I've got all my elements of my box ready. The next thing that you need to do is cut out. Some of you may have already done it, okay? Some of you may have already cut out your 4 corners. So these are the sheets that you will get for your 4 corners. You'll get them, when I say 4 corners, well, your corner card, I should say. So you'll get the base and you'll have 2 of these. I've already prepped them out, cut those all out, and you'll find that you'll have decoupage elements, the extra elements that you can use around the edges, like so, if you want to decoupage, which is what I'm going to do when we put it together. And you've got broken lines all around there. So these are all ready to put together now. So what I'm going to now do is score. So when it comes to scoring, you can use a scoreboard. You can use it with a scoring tool, and you can get them wooden ones, you can get plastic ones. However, my handy tip is to use the recess in the paper trimmer. So whatever way you want to do, it can work. I use it with an embossing tool. If you've got a viscous trimmer, you can get a black blade that actually embosses. I just find it easy using an embossing tool. Whatever your personal preference is, use that. So I am just going to now line this up like so to where I want it to score that way. And I tend to use the same double-ended tool all the time for scoring, so I get the right width. I'm going to go around those two sides and just score. So how is everybody doing? Are you up to the scoring part yet? Am I going too fast? I'm really sorry if I'm going too fast. Some of you may have already scored these already while you're waiting for me to catch up. So this one here is scoring all the way down the middle like so. And then the next bit is this one. Now you will need, I forgot to mention, you will need a bone folder, okay? And I'll be showing you how to fold them over in a second, but I'm going to score everything first. And then we'll get to the bone folder in a second. So I'm just going to score along there. So that's that one done now. And then it's these next sections like so. Line it up. And this is how easy I find it when using an embossing tool and also my viscous paper trimmer for scoring. Line it up to the recess and score. Now, as I said to you earlier, there is a lot of preparation, because not only are you doing a card, you're doing a box, but once you've got it all prepared, you'll be amazed how quickly it goes together, trust me. And you're going to love it because it's such an unusual card. So I've done that one, and I'm now doing the same on the other side. Line it up like so, score down that section, turn it round that way, line it up and score. So top tip when it comes to card making, do them all in stages. So remember, I cut this out earlier and I want to score this, line it up that way, and then we're down to the lid and the base. Line it up, and we've got 4 more corners, I should say 8 with the lid and base. And then we're going to start fixing the sections together. Now remember, if anybody has any questions or queries on these techniques, just please ask and let me know. So all I'm doing now is going through this last bit of this is my section here of my, I would call this the base. You've got this lovely green. So if you think about it from sand, and this is the base, and then this one's the blossom, which is the lid. And this is what's going to finish it all off when you're done. Now, if you have a look at the lid, you'll find that you have like a scallop section. You can make it more intricate if you want, or you can leave it straight, and that's why we've left the design. So it's up to you if you cut all the way around the scallop or just leave it nice and straight. I've left mine nice and straight because I find it much easier to go with straight lines. And then the next one is the last one that we have there. Right, I think that is all my scoring sections. Now remember, you will then have to use adhesive. So when you can use adhesive, you can use double-sided tape, you can use 3-in-1 glue, you can use your acrylic glue or strong glue, any way you want. But what you need to do, so this is the lid. So what you need to do is fold it over, and it's called burnishing it when you use your bone folder, like so. Go around the 4 sections, like that. And what I'm going to do is then put over my little flaps, like so. And remember, this is the lid because it's the top with the blossom. I'm going to use some 3-in-1 glue. I find 3-in-1 glue is really good for things that are quick. Put a little glue, oops, that might be a bit too much on. Let's get a little bit of scrap paper there. There we go. Take a little bit of that off, and then put some on the back of this side, and then get some more glue. think I'll get myself in the right mess. How are you all doing? Glue gets everywhere. And then a bit more on that side. And then we're going to put it together by simply holding it in place like so. And this is why I like 3-in-1, because it holds it, it grabs it, and then you can let go. Get the next one like so. Hold it in place for a few seconds and it grabs it, and then keep on going around the 4 sides until you are happy. Last one. There we go. So that creates your lid. So put that to one side, let it dry. The next one is your grass. So because it's your grass, you want it to see the edging. So this way you fold in the inside. And what I mean by that is you're going to put your box inside so you have the grass edging. So do exactly the same. Fold it over. Use your bone folder just to reinforce those lines like so. And when it comes to this corner card and box, like any box, there's a lot of repetition. And it comes to the straight lines and making sure you've got your tabs over. But after you've done a few, you'll get used to it and you'll find that time goes very quickly. So let's put some glue on like so in the 4 corners. There we go. One last one. And then we're going to hold in place. I always think it's great to have tools that you can rely on, and by having a good paper trimmer or by having a good glue, it makes card making fun and easy, so you're not struggling. At one time I used to struggle with having a glue that sticks straight away, where this one I like. And you can use your double-sided tape if you want to. So you can see that this is the base and we're going to put the box inside, but before we do that we need to get it all ready, leaving that to dry. So then it comes to creating your sides and your boxes, and all I'm doing is folding it in, because these are my tabs and this is what sticks inside your box. So you've got this one, then you have your other side, or I should say your back, fold in place again. So then you have that one like so, so that's going to sit on there together. But then you have your side window and also your door, so you are going to have it 4 corners like so, and then this is going to be one window, and obviously I want to put some acetate on, and then this is my door. And this, can you see, is actually shorter because you want to be able to open it, and then you've got your little flaps. So you do need to make your acetate, or I should say cut your acetate the size of the door. So I'm using a thick acetate. You can use whatever acetate you want. If you've got a thinner one, it's totally fine, because this is going to give a window effect. And literally all I'm doing is line that on top, deciding the size. Now remember, you need 2 of these, so make sure your acetate stretches. So it's going to go like up to there. Cut that along there. And then what we're going to do is make sure you have the right width. I have, and I'm going to trim it down that way. So how are we all doing? Are we still with me? Oops, got the wrong size. Oh, look, even I can cut it wrong. Remember, this is a live video, everybody. So if I get it wrong, I get it wrong. So as you can see, that creates that lovely window pane effect. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. Now with the other side, you have less area down here, so you need to make sure you cut it to scale. So what I tend to do is line that up like so. Just make a little mark of where I want it to cut, which is going to be there. And then we're going to cut it straight, or straightish. Nobody's going to see it on the other side. Make sure it fits in there, so I'm going to have that on there like so. And then I am going to use a tape pen. You can use double-sided tape if you want. I tend to use tape pen. And then I'm going to put some tape on there and on that at the bottom like so. Lay that on so it fits in place. Remember, it can't be lower because this is the door that swings open. So I've stuck that one in place like so. Ready. I might literally put a little bit more tape on the side, I think. There we go. And then we'll do the same with the other one. We'll get this one, and this one I can put more tape on because I know there's more room, like so. And now I have my door ready. Or I should say this is the window. So you have got that already. Put that in place so you can see you have your window. So at the moment I have a door, which is that one. I have a window. So remember, you need to make sure it is a different size, and what we're going to do is fit them together. So how it goes together is this goes on there, like so. This one goes on here. So lay them all flat, and then the last one will go on the end, but I'm going to put that one in last. So then I'm literally going to get my glue, put my glue on there, like so. Then line that up, and what you need to do is line one on top of the other. Make sure you've got it up to that score line. Press down, make sure it bends easily. Repeat the same with the next section, like so. Put that on there, line it up. Remember, you don't want to block that score line, otherwise it won't fold properly. Just wiggle it a little bit. This is why I tend to use glue, because it gives you enough room to wiggle. I know it's a strange thing to say, but you can see how my box is coming together beautifully. The next thing I would recommend is just reinforce those lines at the bottom. So just use your bone folder, because you want to make sure it can stand okay. Put that along there. And then my last one is my window. Fold it in half, like so. And this is going to stick inside here. So what I tend to do is just I test it first to make sure I've got it the right way. I always do that, doesn't matter how many times I do it. So you can see how the box is coming together beautifully. So what I then do is turn it upside down. I then put glue along there. Okay, and then I put glue along the other corner, like so. And then we do the third one. There we go. And then I just turn it back upside down, or the right way I should say. Align it in. Make sure you have it right into the corner. So that's very important, that it sits right into the corner. And then press it down, and the glue will just automatically just sit there in place. So how's that? So how are you doing? Are you up to this stage? Okay, so this is my box ready. Now remember, with this, you want to be able to open it. So at the moment, I will explain how the door attaches. But before we get to that point, because if I turn it this way, you can see what I mean. At the moment, this is how it's going to be. We still need to stick the door on there, and we still need to have a tab. Now you may have noticed on one of your sheets, this little instruction here, this is the tab. So don't forget that this is what you need to cut out. So we're going to let that dry for a little bit, like so. And then I'm going to cut this out, and then we're going to make our card. So hopefully you're all up to the point where your box is looking like a box. You need to cut out your little slot for your tab. So I'm just cutting that out. I mean, this is the beauty with this. All the instructions are there for you. All you need to do is put them together. So this is my little tab for my door. Move all my rubbish out the way, and I'm just going to score it like so. Just need to score where it says, where you've got that broken line. So just score along there. So there's that one. And I'll do the same on the other side. So this is ready to actually attach for your door. And then what I'm doing is just going like that. And that's all ready for my door. So I'm just keep it safe, don't lose it. So the next section is doing your card, really. So this is your corner card. So what we have here is we have two sections, as you can see. and then this bit is a centerpiece. And what you're going to do is, like you did before, you're going to bring forward where you've scored, and it's called burnishing, when you just reinforce your bone folder along that score line. So you're going to do that on all 3 sections that we have, like that. There we go. And then this last section, just reinforce that line. And then what I would recommend you do, because I always work flat, you are going to fix that onto there. Use your glue. Just put a little bit of glue along that. So wiggle it into place. There we go. Make that lovely tree trunk. Remember to make sure that it can lift up. So you need to make sure that it sits properly. And then this section, you're only going to fix it on one part. So I'm just going to do one side so I can decoupage. So then we have this along there, like so. Fix that. Before I fix it, this is what we scored earlier. Make sure you line it totally flat up to that line, like so. Lift it up. If you need to add more glue, then add more glue. But what we're going to do is work flat. And then I've decoupaged, or should I say, I've cut out my extra elements. So I want to decoupage these lovely extra character sheets elements that I've already cut out. And I've got my lovely sentiment. So I tend to lay everything out and then start putting together. I'm using my pricking tool. So this is just a 3-prong pricking tool, and I'm just getting some foam pads in this bag somewhere. There we go. So here's a top tip if you haven't seen it before. I tend to use my foam pads, and then the pricking tool lifts it up like that. Put that to one side. Let's get some more foam pads. Oops, the top's come off. There we go. Such an easy way to pick up the foam pads and take the tops off. Put another one on, I think. There we go. Put that at an angle. And I want to put another foam pad on just on the end there. Okay. And then we're going to position her on top. You have got that lovely area around the outline. Just make sure you don't go over the actual line. If you accidentally go over that line, just trim it down, but it needs to be able to stand up. Yep, that stands out beautifully. And then we'll foam pad the rest of the extra elements that you have from the sheet. Now, when it comes to those craft sheets, I've given you so much more. You'll find that there's so much choice. You don't have to do everything on them. It's whatever you want. So I'm just going to lay this together like so. Overlay them so you've got that lovely dimension. And then I'm going to do the birdhouse as well. And obviously the birdhouse is a thinner area, so I just want to cut those sections down. So is everybody doing okay? I hope you're all enjoying it as much as I have. I love this corner card because it's something different. And we always like to try something different, don't we? So let's put this on here. I think I need to cut another tab. This is the beauty about having foam pads that you cut down to whatever scale you want. So I'm just going to put that on there, take the top off, pop that on there, and I need another thin one, which is here. Take the top off, position that on there like so. And then if it goes over a little bit, just trim that down with a pair of scissors. When it comes to the decoupage, and you can use silicone glue if you find it easier. I'll be honest with you, I tend to use foam pads more for quickness because I'm very impatient and I don't want to wait an hour for it to dry, but it's entirely up to you. So as you can see, by having the decoupage, it gives it depth and dimension. You do have extra elements. I've also decoupaged this part of the blossom. So what I want to do is just I have some bigger foam pads. There we go. So I'm just going to put the bigger ones on as well as the little ones. Now don't forget, if you are using silicone glue, you do have to leave the work to dry for literally about an hour, but it enables you to wiggle it into place if you are using silicone glue. And then we'll put one here, like so. and then just use a pricking tool, put that one on there, take the top off. I love using the pricking tools because it just makes life so much easier. There we go. Oops. Then we position this onto here. What I tend to do is start at the top and then make sure it's all in place, that I'm happy with it. And then we have, what other things we have? I've cut out the butterflies. You have loads of little butterflies. You can add as many as you want. I've only cut out a few. I just want to add another one just there. And then I've got another one just on here, like so. Just going to cut, I should say I've cut her out, and I'm just going to put that one flying the other way on the tree, like so. So I think that's about it, except for my sentiment, which says, for somebody special. Because this has got the dimension on, I want to just lay this one flat. It's entirely up to you. And I'm just having it there. So it looks like she's holding it up to there. And then all you're going to do, oops, I think I might need a little bit more glue. Make sure, add more glue if you need to, but make sure it's completely glued at this pace here, because this part of it is going to be joining together. So now that I'm ready, I'm just going to put that on there, lift it up, and you're lining it up together like so to create this lovely corner scene effect. And then in the middle, I'm going to have a happy birthday. Now, the reason why I crease this is this card actually goes completely flat if you want to. However, I'm going to keep mine in the box, so it doesn't have to go flat. So this bit, if you were going to do it flat, you would just stick this on one side, but I am not. I'm just going to have it in the center like so. And then I've got two flowers, I should say, that I'm going to put on either corners like that, one there and one there. And you can see how it's coming together. Obviously it needs loads of glitter and gems. Make sure it slides in. So I need to make sure my lady is in place. And then this goes like so. So you can see how it fits in beautifully. And now I need the front part of my door. So do you remember me telling you earlier you had a extra section here? This bit is shorter than the others. Now what you need to do, at the moment that is stuck inside, so you do need to use a small pair of scissors and trim that all the way to the spine so it opens like that. Because what you're going to do is you're going to attach the glue, or I should say you're going to put the glue on here, and you're going to attach the door up to that line like so. And you need to make sure it's nice and fixed really firm, but not below this section. And this is where you need that tab. So this is going to go on there, and it will be smaller. Don't worry, it will be smaller than the other part, and it's meant to. Just make sure it's nice and straight. So while that is drying, I have that little tab here. So I'm going to turn this round this way. So that is drying nicely. Make sure it's nice up to the edge, like so. You need to make sure the tab, you just put a little bit of glue on either end. Put a glue on that, glue on that. You can use tape, remember. So you want it so you fit it exactly. It's going to go there and there, like so. And this is why I tend to use glue rather than tape, so I can wiggle it. So that's where I want it. Line it completely straight like so. So you need to be able to get in there. That will dry very quickly, and that will slide into there like so. Turn it over. You can see your lovely little scene, and then we'll put the actual roof on top. Now remember, the idea of the roof is that it lifts off, but you can, if you want to, stick it in place. But to be able to open the door, can you see about this? You need to have it that way. So it's entirely up to you whether you want to have the roof. I tend to leave the roof not stuck to it so people can take the card out this way. A lot of friends of mine keep it displayed in the box. Now remember, when it comes to this lovely creation, you do need to decorate it, as in add glitter and embellishments to it. The extra elements on the sheets, so you have to mum, to sister. What we've done is we've done extra sentiments that you can put on the outside of the box if you want to. Loads of extra embellishments. We've even left you a plain tab, so if you want to write a little message that you can put in the inside, it's very easy to do. So I hope you've enjoyed it and enjoyed creating this gorgeous creation. Now remember, if anybody has any questions or queries, just let me know. I would like to see any images, so if you have a go, please put it on Facebook. But I'm sure you're going to love it as much as I loved creating it. So have a go and happy crafting.